Well, Abby, can I tell you something about bears?
Sure.
The bear is a solitary animal. They like their space. They live in a magic circle. They don't mind if you're like a mile away, but if you would get inside their circle, they would maul you. If a bear's claw would ever strike your face, it would take your whole face right off your skull. Your eyes, your nose, your lips, everything. And you would die
Wow. Didn't know bears could be so vicious.
from it. Yeah. Well, bears don't belong in a zoo.
That's right, today we're going to talk about the criminally underrated 2011 film, Hobo With A Shotgun. Do you like older exploitation films, but also appreciate acting ability, decent special effects, and coherent plots?
All right.
Well, this might just be the film you're looking for. Hobo combines many of the good aspects of grindhouse films, modernizes them, and presents them in a way that is competent on every level, all the while avoiding the pitfalls of going too over the top or cramming in too much nostalgia. That's right, I'm looking at you, Kung Fury. But back to Hobo, a much better movie with a similar backstory. Jason Eisner got his first break when he entered a contest put on for the movie Grindhouse, the collaboration put out by Tarantino and Rodriguez. In case you didn't know, Grindhouse was a double feature with each respective director creating a roughly 1-hour movie.
2 adrenaline-fueled roller coasters. 1 ticket to ride. In 2.5 hours of pure dynamite. Planet terror and death proof. Only at the Grindhouse.
Adding to the experience was a series of fake trailers playing before the movie and during the intermission. This is where Hobo comes in. Tarantino ran a contest looking for fake Grindhouse trailers. The winning entry was to appear in the movie Grindhouse. And of course, you guessed it, director Jason Eisner, with the help of some friends and a real-life homeless man, created the original trailer and won the contest.
Violence, cruelty, murder. The streets will be lonelier because this hobo's taken off. He's cashing in his nickels and dimes for a new way of life. But getting out isn't that easy. Give me the money or I'll dice this bitch up! This hero is going to have to deliver justice, one shell at a time.
I actually saw Grindhouse in the theaters and it was quite the experience. People were drunk, yelling at the screen, and even throwing shit. And that was just me and my friends. Over the next few years, the trailer drummed up enough interest to secure the funding they needed. The movie Machete was also based on a trailer from Grindhouse. While Machete is good for some laughs, it definitely didn't hit the mark like this movie.
If you're gonna hire Machete to kill the bad guy, you better make damn sure the bad guy isn't you. Machete.
But enough about the backstory. Let's talk about this movie and why it's fucking awesome. So where to start with this movie? Oh yeah, the plot. The plot is simple and streamlined. Every scene in this movie is there to move the story forward or to entertain. If not with story, usually with gratuitous violence. Oh yeah, if you're not a fan of film violence, Hobo is not for you.
Shut the fuck up! Ah!
This is probably the most violent film I've ever seen in theaters, and it's played completely straight, unlike some other throwback movies.
Hey, you got a permit for those guns?
I got your permit right here.
It was legitimately hard to pick out scenes for this review because each one is just wonderful. Even scenes where not much is happening, the director throws in something weird to keep your interest. Take this scene for example. You could have just had him walking through the hallway. George Lucas would have just had him walking through the hallway. But instead Eisner decided to throw in some random hysterical child foaming from the mouth. It's the little touches like that that make Hobo so enjoyable. The story revolves around a nameless hobo, of course played by Rutger Hauer. Other than that, there's about 4 characters in the movie. Abby, a prostitute who befriends the hobo. Then there's the crime lord Drake, who with the help of his 2 sons, Slick and Ivan, rule the town affectionately known to locals as Scumtown with an iron fist.
Oh, brother mine. Look at you now!
Boys, this isn't a joke anymore!
You weren't planning on leaving town without saying goodbye, were ya?
Yeah. We've been looking all over for you. I was getting worried.
The hobo rides the rails into town and quickly realizes that something is off. Crime is rampant, property values are low, and oh yeah, Drake is performing public executions. Kinky public executions. At first, the hobo tries to do the right thing by rescuing Abby from Slick. He even goes as far as to personally turn Slick in at the police station.
Lock him up with the sodomites. Get me the goddamn chief of police.
Disappointed to learn that sodomy is no longer illegal, the hobo sits down with the chief of police who officially welcomes him to town.
Did anybody officially welcome you to town yet?
They never do.
Well,
Welcome to Funtown!
Luckily, the hobo survives the encounter, but it doesn't take long for him to realize that it's up to him to deliver justice in this town, one shell at a time. Basically, the rest of the film is the hobo taking his revenge on the criminals in Scumtown, while Drake wages a war on the city's homeless population. And while this movie is ridiculously violent, most of the people being murdered are over-the-top caricatures that are so one-dimensional and evil, you don't in any way feel bad for them.
Make her feel it.
What could have ended as a depressing movie with a different director ends up being thoroughly enjoyable. A movie that's fun and best enjoyed with a group of people. Also, the movie is legitimately funny.
We'll get out of this town, we'll go somewhere where they have nice big lawns to mow. This isn't the only place grass grows.
Are you serious?
Funnier than a lot of comedies. I did some research and can say with utmost certainty that Hobo with a Shotgun was the best comedy to come out in 2011.
All right.
The film also looks amazing. It's shot mostly on handheld, so there's lots of moving camera work that helps keep the pace and the shots visually interesting. Also keeping your attention is the use of color. Entire shots are in red, green, purple, etc. They push the yellow-blue color combination to its absolute limit, and it's gorgeous. Technicolor was used for the coloring, and it gives a dated look without going so far as to add in fake film grain. The shooting locations are just wonderful too. Hobo is of course a Canadian film and was shot in Dartmouth and Halifax, Nova Scotia. Rutger Hauer delivers an amazing performance and sells his character completely in every scene. One of the fun things about Hobo is Hauer's reaction to all the horrible things going on around him. He's essentially mimicking the horrified reaction of the audience members that had no idea what they were getting into when their friend decided to show them a movie. It's a nice touch that reaffirms just how out of hand things in Scumtown really are. Also giving a notable performance is Brian Downey, playing Drake. His over-the-top style essentially takes the mustache-twirling villain and takes it to its most sadistic extremes.
The way I see it, I'm a fucking miracle worker. Because I am gonna make it rain. Get it, Slick!
The rest of their performances are so-so, but to be fair, given some of the lines they had to deliver, you can't really blame them too much.
Put the knife away, kid, or I'll use it to cut welfare checks from your rotten skin.
Well, you better cut one to Mother Teresa, so you can give it to her while she's finger-banging you in it!
The score is wonderful, a solid mix of synth and orchestral. It really cements the feel of the movie and wonderfully adds tension. Hobo also has what is possibly the best use of a pop song in a movie ever. I'm not going to spoil the scene for you, but the song Disco Inferno pops up and it's just splendid. But I will say that it's just as twisted and violent, not to mention hilarious as you'd expect. Lastly, the movie just has heart. You like the characters. You want them to succeed. The violence, the nostalgia are all in service to a story that, while simple, is engaging. The hobo is the good guy. Even if he's rough around the edges, you want him to live. Drake is an asshole. You want him to die. The movie is similar in that way to another throwback film, Turbo Kid.
Weapon against the robot threat. But to be a true hero, you'll have to save your girlfriend.
Hey! What's that in your hand?
It's a comic book?
What's it about?
It's about a Turbo Rider?
That's rad!
Another example of a wacky throwback film that works because it's built on a foundation of solid, likable characters. This is the point that a lot of throwback films miss. That's right, I'm looking at you again, Kung Fury.
All units, we have an ongoing shootout at 24th and Northwest Street.
I'm on it.
I've tried to show you as little of Hobo as possible in this review, because if you haven't seen it yet, I didn't want to spoil anything. It's just a fun adventure. It's one of the few movies that still makes my jaw drop every time I see it. Get some friends, get some beers, put this on and just enjoy. Even if you're a busy mom, just put it on while you feed the kids or fold the laundry. They'll enjoy all the bright colors. A more recent film that is very similar is Mandy. If you enjoyed Mandy, you'll definitely enjoy Hobo.
So what you gonna do with that thing?
I'm going hunting.
So what you hunting?
It's crazy evil.
I mean, they have similar visual style, similar plots, similar tone, similar protagonists, similar antagonists, and similar female leads, etc., etc. Now, I'm not saying that Mandy is a ripoff of Hobo, not at all. But what I am saying is that Mandy is a ripoff of Hobo.
Alright.
I'll probably do a video on the similarities sometime in the future. Well, that's my review. I really hope you check out this movie. And tune in next time when I review my mom's new boyfriend. Just because you bought me a Switch doesn't mean I'm gonna call you Dad, Kevin.